I'm Surabhi Kumar, and I'm talking with fellow SciGirl Adrianna Williams, who is a college student at Duke University. Hi, Adrianna. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well.
What career in Duke did you decide to pursue?
So, I am currently at Duke studying neuroscience with a minor in African American Studies. I'm also on the pre-med track.
So, what made you interested in neuroscience and African American studies?
Yeah, so what's interesting is that I became interested in neuroscience through SciGirls. And so basically how that happened was at the end of SciGirls, there's a presentation at the end, as we all know. And so throughout SciGirls, at one point learned about neuroscience. And so I went home to my mom and I was like, Mom, I want to learn about the brain. I want to learn about neuroscience. And she just said, okay. And we actually, made a poster about neuroscience, all about what it is, what the field is. And since then, I was still interested in neuroscience. And so I learned more about it throughout middle school, high school, even got the opportunity to do some research in neuroscience. And then from there, the rest is really history. And so I am now today at Duke, set to receive my degree in neuroscience next year. And I'm also studying African American studies because as a Black woman, I felt as though I didn't know as much as I wanted to about my history. And I, of course, learned about my history from my parents and my family growing up and a little bit through school, but I just wanted to know more. And so got to Duke, decided I wanted to minor in African American studies, where I'm learning about African American studies and African studies. And since then, it's been amazing and it's really informed the kind of doctor that I want to be.
So, what challenges did you face when you pursued this career?
So that's a good question. I would say I've definitely experienced a lot of challenges. And I would specifically speak to some challenges that I've experienced in taking pre-med classes and being a pre-med student. And so one pre-med class all pre-med students have to take is a class called organic chemistry. And it is one of the several chemistry classes you have to take, and it is arguably the hardest chemistry course that you will take as a pre-med student. And I took it in the spring of my freshman year, and I remember taking this class, and it was very hard. It was actually the hardest class I've taken at Duke University. And what I learned in that moment, I learned two things. And so the first thing I learned is that, it's important to ask for help. It's essential to ask for help when you need it. And so I went to one of my mentors who is a chemist, but she is also the dean of the College of Arts and Sciences at Duke University. And I went to her and she helped me find a number of resources that would help me with the class that included like private tutoring, group tutoring, and also like organic chemistry learning communities. And on top of that, in our discussions, she also pointed me to a summer pre-med program. And so not only in me asking for help was I able to, find the resources that I needed to take the class and do well, but I also was able to apply for and get accepted to a pre-med program that was all expenses paid, and I even got a stipend out of it. So all of that to say that I learned in that very challenging moment, it's important to ask for help. And the second thing that I learned is that it's important to not compare yourself to people. I found myself in that class oftentimes thinking to myself, how am I struggling this much, but other students, are doing what looks like so much better than me? And what I realized at that moment through talking with other students, through just my own personal reflection, is that, it's easy to assume how others are doing, but you just never know. And so students in that class were struggling just as much as I was, if not more. And also is that what I've realized is that when you spend time comparing yourself to others, that's time that could be spent, setting the goals achieving the goals that you set for yourself. And so I learned from that class that I shouldn't compare myself to other people and how I think others are doing, but instead focus on how I'm doing and what improvements I can make and, you know, how I can, do better in a class or do better in my career or so on and so forth.
So what was your favorite SciGirls experience?
My favorite SciGirls experience was going to the Gulf Marine Lab. And I love it so much because, as someone from Tallahassee, we're close to the beach, but we're not at the beach. And so I'm someone who loves to be outside, and I also love the water. And so the Gulf Marine Lab was an opportunity to have both. And so not only was it a good opportunity to be outside and be on the water, but I got to learn a lot about different marine animals and marine life that I wouldn't otherwise know about. And since going to the Gulf Marine Lab and when I did SciGirls in 5th grade, I went to the Gulf Marine Lab a couple more times after that, and to this day, it's still one of my favorite places to go.
So what advice do you have for girls thinking about going into a career in STEM?
It's important to not compare yourself to others because even in 2020, even in the time that we're in now, women are still underrepresented in STEM, and also minority women are underrepresented in STEM. And so it can be really easy to be in spaces, whether it's your classes, whether it's, in your workspace, when you're actually in your career, where you can look like the only person in the room. I know as a woman, and specifically a Black woman at Duke, I am oftentimes the only one who looks like me in my classes, or even in my current internship now, which is a STEM-related internship. I am maybe one of 2 people who look like me in our entire intern cohort. And so in those moments and in those spaces, it can be really easy to, feel intimidated or feel anxious. And that's, all of those feelings are valid, but it's also important to not compare yourself to other people. And it's important to, again, think about what it is that you want to accomplish, what goals do you have for yourself, and how can you best achieve those? How can you best improve yourself and, accomplish the work that it is that you want to do to make an impact in society and in your community.
How did the camp make you think about science as a career?
Yeah, so I think SciGirls, it helped me think about science in 2 ways. One, it helped me to see that science was something that was really accessible to me and really something that I could accomplish and achieve as a career. Prior to SciGirls, in elementary school, I was interested in science, had opportunities to, stimulate my interest in science, but I just never saw it as something that I could achieve or accomplish as a career. There were other careers that or jobs that I thought would be better suited for me, but when I did SciGirls and I got to see not only girls my age interested in science, but also women in STEM actually in these careers actually doing the thing, it really, it just opened my eyes and it allowed me to see and realize, no, this is something that I could really do if I wanted to. And the other way in which SciGirls changed my perspective of science is that it helped me to see that science is so much bigger than what many perceive it as. Again, prior to SciGirls, I really thought of science as a scientist at a, bench in a laboratory, looking at stuff under the microscope, looking at cells, bacteria, so on and so forth. And that's a lot of people's perception of science, but after SciGirls, got to see that science is such a big field and it has such a big impact on the world. There's literally science in everything that we do, have, look at, feel, so on and so forth. And, not only is science, scientists, looking at stuff under a microscope, but it's also being out in nature, observing things that occur in nature in the natural world. And that science is also, people who may be trained in what are considered STEM fields, but also, out in places like Congress, places like City Hall, working to improve and change science policy so that it better affects and impacts people and living things in this world. And so it really just opened my eyes to how big science is and how there's so many more avenues in science I could pursue than what I originally thought.
Yeah, I totally agree. You start to see science everywhere you look. Thank you so much, Adrianna, for speaking with me. It was great talking with you.
Of course, it was so great to talk to you.